Hello.
Devraj, let us start now.
Yes, sir. We can start now, sir.
Yeah. Please proceed. Yeah.
Murthy, sir, shall we start now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you. Good afternoon, one and all. So the Department of Mechanical Engineering of ATMECE in association with Institute Innovation Council IIC has organized a webinar on standardization in industry for faculty members and students. So in this regard, we had invited Mr. N. Srinivasamurthy as a resource person. Sir was kind enough to accept our invitation for this webinar as a speaker besides his busy schedule. So on behalf of ATMECE and Department of Mechanical Engineering, I would like to give a warm welcome to today's speaker, Mr. N. Srinivasamurthy. Sir, I welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
I welcome you on this occasion, sir. So I extend a warm welcome to Dr. Basavaraj L, Principal ATMECE, and Dr. M.S. Govindagowda, Dean Academics, and Dr. Ratnakar G, Dean Student Affairs, and also AAC President, and HOD Dr. Srinivasa K for this webinar. So my hearty welcome to all faculty and student participants of the institution and other institutions. So before the starting lecture session, I would like to give a brief introduction of the today's speaker, Mr. N. Srinivasa Murthy. Mr. N. Srinivasa Murthy completed his BE in Mechanical Engineering and MTech in Machine Design. He worked as a Deputy General Manager at HMT and served there for a period of 21 years. So then he joined Bosch, Mike Bosch, and served as a manager standards, then served as senior manager and head standards. He served for 13 years at Bosch Company. After his retirement from Bosch Company Limited in the year of 2009, he worked as consultant for Bosch Company for a period of 10 years in making Bosch German guidelines to suit Bosch India guidelines. Presently working as chairman of Bureau of Indian Standards Committee on Fasteners and General Engineering in personal capacity after his retirement from Bosch Limited. His field of experience is standardization, Bosch norms, DIN norms, National Standardization of India. As chairman of Committee of Standards at national level in the field of General Engineering and Fasteners. Also is a field of experience in PGD 37 of Bureau of Indian Standards, New Delhi, and his field of specialization is standardization. So with this brief introduction of the today's speaker, I welcome him once again wholeheartedly on behalf of ATMECE and HOD Department of Mechanical Engineering and Dean Student Affairs and AAC President Dr. G. Ratnakar Ji, and on behalf of myself. So now I would like to hand over the platform to our speaker N. Srinivasamurthy sir. Sir, over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Devraj, Professor Devraj, sir.
Sir, thank you, sir.
I'm Dr. Principal, Dr. Ratnakar, Dean, HOD, Dr. Srinivasa, other staff of Mechanical Engineering Department and students of Mechanical Engineering Department. I'm extremely happy to speak to you all on the subject of standardization in industry. I take this opportunity to thank Professor Devraj and Mr. Yashwant, who have taken pains to arrange this webinar meeting. Coming to the subject of standardization in industry, I will directly go to the presentation portion. I hope it is visible to all the members. Hello?
Sir,
Hello?
not visible, sir. Hello, I am audible, sir. Not visible.
ದೇವರಾಜ್ ದೇವರಾಜ್
sir. Yes, sir.
ಬೇರೆ ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ಶೇರಿಂಗ್ ನ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದನ್ನ ತೆಗೀರಿ, ಆವಾಗ ವಿಸಿಬಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು. ಸರ್ಗೆ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳಿ.
I have shared it, but anyway, I will check up once again.
Just a while, sir. Please share it once again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Please share this, please.
I had shared in the beginning, but after 1 second, yeah. Is it visible now, sir?
Yes, now it is visible, sir.
Is it okay, sir? Now is it visible?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir, it is visible, sir.
Thank you very much. So I thank Professor Devraj for giving me my introduction. The whole service of mine is in the standards department. About 21 years in HMT, Hindustan Machine Tools erstwhile, and in Bosch, Bangalore. And later I worked as a consultant also in Bosch. Again, in a related area to standards. So I am very happy to share with you my knowledge about the standardization in industry. Thank you very much. Lord Sri Krishna has mentioned in Srimad Bhagavad Gita about standards in the 21st stanza of chapter 3 on Karma Yoga as follows. This is as long back as 5,159 years back, as we have understood. Yadyadacharati shrestah tattadevo taro janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokastadanvartate, which means whatever action a great man performs, common man follows, and whatever standard he sets by exemplary acts, the entire world perceives. Of course, the word standards has been properly used in Bhagavad Gita, but in our context, we follow standards set by our seniors. Or let us say for India, ISO is the highest body of standards, and all countries try to follow ISO standards. Similarly, in industry, people follow industrial standards or their own company standards. Chakravarti Rajagopalachari, the first Governor General of India, had said once that standardization is to industry what culture is to society. Just as the society cannot live without proper culture, any industry cannot continue or stay healthy without standards and standardization. That's what the importance of standards.
Sir, sorry for interruption. Screen is not visible, sir. Anybody
Again,
give the clarification? Please, once again, you can unshare and share.
I have to share, is it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, I will go back. 1 second, sorry.
Yes, you can go for unshare and again go for share, sir.
Is it?
No, sir, it's not visible now.
1 second, I will share.
Yes.
Open share tray. Why it is getting this? 1 second.
Okay, sir. Okay, no problem.
Now is it visible, sir? Hello?
Yes, now it is visible, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
I was mentioning why standards at all. It is to ensure interchangeability and fitness for use. Now, in our daily life, whenever, let us say, we buy some GLS lamp, the bulb, electric bulb, we don't check for its interchangeability at the shop. We only check whether it burns, I mean, it lights up. So when we come and put it in our house, it fits in. That means the dimension and the tolerance have been matched for the dimension of the bulb, bayonet, and that of the holder with the proper tolerance. And the interchangeability happens very conveniently. Similarly, the standards ensures quality and safety. In our kitchen, if we go, there are number of items which are made as per Indian standard, right from the pressure cooker, the stove, the gas cylinder, every one of those items, even including the refrigerator, etc. And unless quality is ensured and safety is ensured as per standards, the safety of the persons is not there. So standards ensures quality and safety. Again, it specifies the right material and the right method of test to make things fit for the purpose. So if the raw materials, the products, and the test methods are not as per the required standards, then the functional aspect of the required product will not be there. So that is shown in this picture. Again, it is for better standard of living. That means the quality is ensured by the products which conforms to standards. Then standardization also means orderliness. In a company, the various raw materials, the components, the standard parts like fasteners, bearings, belts and pulleys, etc., transmission element, these are all to be standardized, rather rationalized, and should be properly numbered, codified, so that they can be properly stored and it is easily retrievable whenever required. So that orderliness by means of codification of the parts and the raw materials is ensured. That is shown in this sketch. Let us come to the definition of the standardization as per the ISO, the International Organization for Standardization, which is the highest body of standardization in the world. Standardization is the process of formulating and applying rules for an orderly approach to a specific activity for the benefit and with cooperation of all concerned, and in particular for the promotion of optimum overall economy, taking due account of functional conditions and safety requirement. The every aspect of standardization has been put in this concise definition of standardization by ISO. Standardization is an orderly approach to some activity. It could be any activity of the company with the benefit and with the cooperation of all concerned. The standards have to be prepared or formulated with the concern of all the concerned departments or the concerned people. Then only it can be implemented. And without implementation of the standards, the benefit will not accrue. And it should promote optimum overall economy. Standards is not to make it things very costly or exorbitant. It should end up in overall economy, taking account of the functional conditions and safety requirement. Safety should not be forgotten about, is what it seems. And the functional conditions of the product process have to be met. So this is the definition as given by ISO. Then what is a standard? A standard is the result of a particular standardization effort approved by the recognized authority. There should be a committee or an authority who should be approving the standards. Maybe it is the managing director of the company, or if it is authorized to the manager or the head of the standards department, then it should be approved. That only after the concise opinion is obtained and all the suggestions are incorporated, then only it becomes a standard. A standard can be a document containing set of conditions to be fulfilled. It could be a fundamental unit like ampere, degree Kelvin, anything. And it could be an object of physical comparison like a metric rule, things like that. Then what is a specification? A specification is a concise statement of a set of requirements to be satisfied by a product, a material, or a process, and indicating whenever appropriate the procedure by means of which it may be determined whether the requirements given are satisfied. A specification may be a standard, it could be a part of standard, or it could be independent of standard also. As far as practicable, it is desirable that the requirements are expressed numerically in terms of appropriate units together with their limits. In any specification, the requirement of the product, like let us say if we take the material, the dimensions, the tolerance, the chemical composition of the material like steel, whatever it is, or the method of testing, all these things have to be specified with numerical values giving tolerance, plus or minus tolerance. Then only the specification can be checked and accepted. So the important thing is that all these requirements have to be numerically given with tolerances, preferably. What are the aims of standardization? What we get when we do standardize? Standardization practice at all levels is to ensure fitness for the intended purpose of a product, process, or service consistent with maximum overall economy. Specific aims of standardization could be spelled out as follows. It is for better utilization of resources. In a company, the existing raw materials, products, components, the standard parts should be utilized. People using multiple varieties is not encouraged. The existing resources should be always tried to be utilized. That is what is done by the standardization. Then better communication. In a company, again in an industry, the communication among all the departments should be same. It should be understood in the same way. That is achieved by the standardization of the drawings. Drawings is the language of the engineers, and in almost every company presently, the ISO standards are followed for drawings. Maybe it is third angle projection or first angle projection, but all the aspects of drawings are covered in ISO standards, and the ISO standards is followed for drawings. Hence, it is easy for the entire company to understand the information available in the drawing in the same way, and it also helps in import and export of the required components. Then variety control, as I mentioned, the standards department helps in control of varieties. They will go to the stores, find out the available sizes, list down those sizes, and inform it to the various departments like design department, purchase department, and stores, so that the available raw materials is utilized for the required purposes and increase of variety can be reduced. Then fitness for the purpose, defining the quality, the required quality of raw materials and the products like bearings, fasteners, etc. are defined in the standards. Thereby, the quality of the end product of the company is ensured by the proper quality of raw material and standard parts, etc. Then interchangeability. Again, the standards uses the approved sizes of components, raw materials, etc. And thereby interchangeability will be ensured. Then also similarly compatibility from one product to another, compatibility can be ensured. Then safety, health, environmental protection, removal of trade barrier. Trade barrier means, let us say the items or products have to be exported or imported. Then because the ISO standards or the national standards are used, the import or export will be easier. Also technology transfer. Whenever the company wants to subcontract some of the sub-assemblies or some of the components of the product, then by giving the technology transfer through the drawings and the operation layout, which are as per some standards, using the standard speeds and feeds and also the standard cutting tools, then the operation will be easier, and the subcontracted companies can easily produce. And even sometimes the standardized tools which may not be available with the subcontracts can be given Thereby, technology transfer and obtaining of the products from a subcontract will be easier. Standardization can be at different levels, and it can be in different subjects and different aspects of standardization, which is presented here in a XYZ space. This is called Dr. Lalsi Varman's standardization space. Dr. Lalsi Varman was the first Director General of Bureau of Indian Standard, which was earlier called Indian Standards Institution, which was started in India way back in 1947. So he formulated this, which tells in Z-axis the various levels of standardization. Namely, it could be individual. Every individual, each one of us will have our own standards for various aspects or various things that we use in our day-to-day life. But we are not speaking of that. The first level of otherwise standards is company standards. Every company will have their own standards. Then group of companies called association standards. Then the national standards, which is each country will have their own national standard. Then regional standards, group of countries like Euro-NARM. All the European countries have joined together, and Euro-NARM has been started, European NARM, and the next higher level is international level, ISO. Similarly, in the subjects can be in any field of things like engineering, transport, structure, food, agriculture, forestry, textiles, chemicals, commerce, science, education, etc. And the aspects can be nomenclature, symbols, grading, classification, specification, sampling and inspection, testing and analysis, simplification, rationalization, code of practice, packaging and labeling, forms and contracts. So these are the various aspects which can be there in each one of those subjects and at each level of standardization. We will concentrate more on the standards at the company level and association level possibly. Now coming to the highest level of standardization, the ISO standards. ISO is the International Organization of Standardization with its headquarters at Geneva, Switzerland. ISO was started in the year 1947, and every year 14th October is celebrated as World Standards Day. On that day, a theme on the World Standards Day, on the standardization will be released, and people in various countries observe it with talking or writing on the subject of, on the theme, and having conferences to promote the standardization in the industry and in general. ISO is the name because the name of International Organization for Standardization would have different abbreviation in different language, like IOS in English, OIN in French. It was decided to use a word derived from Greek, isos, meaning equal. Therefore, the short form of the organization name is always ISO. ISO is made up of national standards bodies of 165 countries on the basis of one member per country. The work of preparing and revising international standards are carried through 793 ISO technical committees. The procedure for formulation of ISO standards is again a committee method. Committee method means for each subject that is taken up, members from different countries will be selected, or they are already members of the participating capacity category or observing category. So they will meet, and the draft technical standards will be circulated to member bodies, and they require at least 75% of the members' approval before they are published as ISO standards. ISO has published over 22,400 international standards, including the famous ISO 9000 series on quality management system and ISO 14,000 series in environment management system. These standards are implemented in more than about 11 lakh organizations worldwide. The work is carried out by more than 3,000 technical committees involving about 50,000 experts from industrial, technical, and business sectors on a voluntary basis. Then next we come to harmonization of ISO standards. Present technique or the present practice is to harmonize ISO standards at the regional and the company at the national level, so that international exchange of goods and services is possible. The method followed is either EN-ISO, in which case it is European NORM has adopted ISO. Then DIN-EN-ISO. ISO has been adopted by European NORM and European NORM has been adopted by DIN. In effect, it is ISO only at Germany, DIN also. Similarly, BS-ISO or IS-ISO. In India, we follow the practice of IS-ISO, giving the same number of, instead of giving the same number, we will be following dual number. That means IS number followed by ISO number. ISO 9000 series on quality management system. ISO 9000 series was first published in the year 1987 and revised in 94 and again in 2000 to include the process approach and also continuous improvement and customer satisfaction. Presently, ISO 9001 is published in 2015. ISO 9004 in 2009, which gives the guidelines for performance improvements. Other management system standards like QMS, Quality Management System for Automobile Industries, is covered by ISO Technical Specification, 16949, Quality Management Systems, particular requirements for the application of ISO 9001 for automotive production and relevant service product organization. A technical specification voted by 2/3 members ISO covers, in addition to ISO 9001 2008 requirement, special requirements of US car manufacturers like General Motors, Ford Motors, and Chrysler Daimler, and Truck Manufacturer Association and others. Then ISO 14001 2015, which deals with environment management system requirements with guidance for use. This is compulsory in all the industries. Now, another is ISO 22000 2018 Food Safety Management System. Then ISO IEC 27001 2013 Information Security Management System. ISO 28000 2007 Security Management System for the supply chain to reduce the risk of terrorism, piracy, and fraud. Then we come to the regional standards level, wherein different countries have joined together to form a committee. This is happening in European countries. The member countries of national standard bodies of CEN members, Committee of European Normalization, are like United Kingdom, Czech Republic, Denmark, Germany, Greece, Belgium, Portugal, Netherlands, Ireland, Austria, Luxembourg, Finland, Sweden, Switzerland, Iceland, Italy, Spain, France. So all the European countries have joined together and the Euro norm is developed, which is maybe based on their own DIN standard to upgrade it to the Euro norm and then put up to ISO standards, or adoption of ISO standard at their countries level in the European committee level. The headquarters is in Brussels. Then we come to our national standards body, the Bureau of Indian Standards. Bureau of Indian Standards, erstwhile Indian Standards Institution, the National Standards Body of India, was started in 1947 with its headquarters at New Delhi under the Ministry of Agriculture and Consumer Affairs. As I mentioned earlier, Dr. Lalsi Varman, the father of standardization in India, was the founder director general, who later rose to become the first vice president of ISO. BIS has published over 20,000 Indian standards by committee method under the following division council. There are 14 division councils like Production and General Engineering Division Council, PGD, Civil Engineering, Chemical Division, Electrotechnical for Electrical Engineering, Electronics and Telecommunication Division for Electronics, Mechanical Engineering Department, Management and Systems Division for Quality Management Standards, Metallurgical Engineering Division Council for all materials like steel, brass, etc. Petroleum, Coal and Related Products Division, PCD, Transport Engineering Division, which covers all modes of transportation, Food and Agricultural Division, Textile Division, Medical Equipment and Hospital Planning Division, Water Resources Division Council. Under each one of these division council, there will be a number of sectional committees. The sectional committees will have members from different companies, different research institute and manufacturers and suppliers or service organization and research organizations also, and a group of about 20 to 25 members from each one of these industries, one main principal member and one alternate member will be nominated by the company, and they will be meeting on an average once in a year to discuss about the various subjects connected to that division council under different sectional committees. So the drafts circulated are prepared by any one of these member bodies, member companies, will be circulated among all the people. Also, it will be put up in the national web, and in a meeting once in a year, the documents will be discussed, and based on the comments received, the document will be finally approved, and the sectional committee, after approval, will put up to the main Production and General Engineering Division Council, and it will be approved there and will be put up for printing. This is the procedure. The procedure is same for preparation of a new standard, or for a revision of a standard, or for withdrawal of a standard. So the standards will be prepared in this method of committee method. Normally it is the procedure. Even in industries, for people follow committee method, or it could be by circulation of draft among all the concerned. But BIS as well as ISO follows the committee method. Then coming to these, the BIS standards, the Indian standards are available on the BIS www.bis.org.in. People can download. They have made it. They have made all the standards on soft medium, and anybody can download the standards also for their own purpose. Should not be sold. Then there are number of certification scheme for BIS, mainly for products, so that the ISI mark, which was used when it was called Indian Standard Institution, has even now has been retained, even after the renaming of the organization as Bureau of Indian Standard, because they cannot change the symbol which were earlier available for various products. Then quality management system as per ISO 9001. Then environment management system as per ISO 14001. Hallmarking of gold, jewelry and articles for its purity and fineness. Various carats are designated as 958 means 23 carat, 916 means 22 carat, 875 is 21 carat, 750 means 18 carat. Then certification scheme for foreign manufacturers and imported goods. For some of the products, BIS has stipulated that without ISI mark, the products cannot be imported where their safety is concerned. Similarly, hazard analysis and critical control points for HACCP certification for food hygiene, hazard analysis and critical control points. I list down here some of the standards, national standards bodies. IS is for Bureau of Indian Standards of India. British standards British Standards Institution, UK, DIN, Deutsche Institute for Normung, Germany, ANSI, American National Standards Institute, USA, NF, Association Française de Normalisation, France, AFNOR, SA Standards, Australia, ON, Österreichisches Normungsinstitut, Austria, JIS, Japanese Industrial Standards Committee, Japan, GHOST is the Committee of Russian Federation for Standardization, Russia. Similarly, the association level standards bodies, Standards Association Standards Body and the country, API, American Petroleum Institute, has got a group of companies in USA. They formulate standards in the field of petroleum. ASTM, which is very famous, American Society for Testing Materials. For all material testing, ASTM standards are very popular. It is also from USA. Then EMA, Indian Electrical Manufacturer Association, has been formulated among the electrical manufacturers in India, and EMA standard is there. Similarly, IMT MAS, Indian Machine Tools Manufacturers Association, India. This is among all the machine tool manufacturers in India, and this IMT MAS makes the machine tool exhibition in Bangalore every once in 3 years, that you may be aware of. Then NEMA, National Electrical Manufacturer Association, this is there in US as well as in of course in US. NFPA, National Fluid Power Association, this is also from US. Then SAE, Society of Automotive Engineers, USA, these are also very famous among all the automobile manufacturers. SAE standards, this is especially for the hydraulic hoses. SAE standards is the very basic and very popular and widely used standard. Then VDI, that is Verein Deutscher Ingenieure, German, for all mechanical elements. Before it becomes DIN standard in Germany, this association level standard is very popular. Similarly, VDE, Verband Deutscher Elektrotechnischer. This is also for electrical elements. In Germany, this is very popular, and the electrical manufacturers have joined together. Before the formulation of DIN standard, these electrical standards are used. Then I would like to give an example of how a young industry proved its parts were interchangeable. This is history through standards. The dramatic and convincing demonstration was given in London in 1908 of the rapid progress towards standardization that the United States had even then achieved in the manufacture of automobiles. During March of that year, Henry M. Leyland chose 3 one-cylinder Cadillac cars at random from the warehouse of the agency in London. The cars were taken to the Brooklands racetrack and they were completely dismantled. A control commission of the Royal Automobile Club of England scrambled the parts into 3 piles, 724 each, and then replaced 89 of the parts with new parts from the stock. Now, 3 new cars were reassembled from the piles of standardized parts without hand fitting. The only tools allowed were wrenches and screwdrivers. Piles and emery cloth were forbidden. The cars were driven 500 miles over the Brookland track with minor adjustment. This shows how interchangeability of components and parts were possible even during those times because of the standardization. Now I would like to talk to you about the related standards of hexagonal bolt or hexagonal screw. What are all the standards that go into in the manufacture of a hexagonal bolt? The first and foremost, the terminology, nomenclature, symbols and designation. These are all covered by ISO standard. In the field of fasteners, almost all the standards are as per international standards, so that international exchange of import and export of these fasteners are made easy. The terminology of screw threads is covered by ISO 5408, which is equivalent to, rather IS 10587 is equivalent to ISO 5408. bolts, screws, nuts, accessories, terminology and nomenclature is as per ISO 1891. Fasteners, symbols and designations of dimensions is all as per ISO 225. Fasteners, ends of parts with ISO metric screw is as per ISO 4753. Dimensions of radii under the head of bolts and screws as per ISO 885. Dimensions for nominal lengths and threaded lengths of bolts, screws and studs is as per ISO 888. Similarly, basic and design standards. The screw thread dimensions are all covered in IS 4218, which part 1 and 4, which are identical to ISO 68, 261, 262, and ISO 764. The screw thread tolerances are given in ISO 965. Screw thread runouts in IS 1369. Of course, there are some minor modifications, so there are no exact equivalent ISO. Screw thread undercut is as per IS 1369 part 2. General requirement as per IS 1367 part 1, which is as per ISO 8992. Product grades A, B and C, depending upon the accuracy of the tolerances and the finish, they are designated as product grades A, B and C, and is as per ISO 4759 part 1. Mechanical properties as per IS 1367 part 3, which is identical to ISO 898 part 1. Width-across flat for hexagon bolts and nuts, IS 9519. Clearance holes, ISO 273. Pre-drill size before tapping, ISO 2306. Designation system for fasteners, IS 1367, which is again as per ISO but with minor modifications. Then inspection, sampling, acceptance and packaging. Inspection, sampling and acceptance are IS 1367 part 17. Axial load fitting testing, IS 1367 part 19. Torsional test and minimum torques, IS 1367 part 20. Packaging. Raw material manufacturing and surface treatment. Mild steel rod for manufacture of machine screws, IS 2255. Circular thread rolling dies, IS 8405. Steel fasteners, electroplated coatings, IS 1361 part 11. Steel fasteners, phosphate coatings, 1361 part 12. Steel fasteners, hot dip galvanized coatings, IS 1367 part 13. Stainless steel threaded fasteners, IS 1367 part 14. Then other related products, tools and gauges. Hexagon nut as per IS 1364 part 3. Hexagon thin nuts 1364 part 4. Plain washers IS 2016. Gauges and gauging IS 2334 as per ISO 1502. Plug gauges and screw check plug gauges IS 9608, IS 9631. Screw ring gauges 9610. Spanners and sockets width across flats IS 2027. Open jaw spanners IS 2028. Ring spanners IS 2029. Then box spanners IS 2030. This list is not complete. It only gives a representative example how for a manufacture of a simple bolt or a screw, how many standards need to be referred to make it completely satisfactory to the required quality and end use. And now let us sum up what are the benefits of standardization. By adopting national, international standards for raw materials and standard components that go into product, standards help in exporting products all over the world. Standards released based on national and international standards for indirect materials like cutting tools, gauges, etc. facilitates manufacturing and ensures consistency in production and uniform quality. The various tools and gauges that are used in the company helps in manufacturing to a consistent quality. Then streamline in procurement of quality products and raw materials from suppliers. Saving in time, efforts for design and development and uniformity in design and drawing, because in the design department everybody will try to follow the same same or similar raw materials and standard parts, and also uniformity in the design and drawing, uniformity in understanding throughout the company as well as at supplier's end, because the drawings have been standardized. All the various aspects of a drawing, engineering drawing or mechanical engineering drawing, the product or the drawing is uniformly understood throughout the company, in the design department, in the purchase department, in the inspection department, in the stores, and the servicing, etc., everywhere, and even at the supplier side. Latest technical information to users from the company standards, other national and international standards. The company standard department will also furnish the latest national and international standards available, thereby disseminating latest technical information to the user department. It avoids duplication of efforts. The even design procedures can be standardized, thereby people making design right from the beginning is avoided. Available rationalized sizes can be utilized to make the end product. Avoids variety proliferation and help in variety reduction through rationalization. As I mentioned, the rationalized sizes of raw materials and the standard parts will be stored in the stores, thereby reducing variety, reducing the variety. Easy identification of materials, standard parts, and tools through codification and numbering system. Every company will have their own numbering system, maybe a 10-digit, 12-digit, 15-digit numbering system, wherein each one of the raw material, standard part, and tools and gauges are all numbered properly to give the end size of the raw material, the tolerance, etc. Thereby, it is easily understood or recognized by everybody throughout in the common way. Standards provides corporate identity also. A company's corporate identity can also be standardized, thereby the product is easily recognized by that corporate identity, like the company logos and trademarks. Then standards is everybody's business. If everybody does not follow or does not understand the standards, this is what happens. As sales ordered it, as manufacturing interpreted it, as engineering designed it, as production manufactured, and as field installed, and what the customer wanted is entirely different. Such a situation will occur if standards is not properly understood by one and all. Then I would like to list down some of these items with IS: domestic gas stove for use with LPG, tungsten filament general engineering, general service electric lamp, domestic pressure cooker, cylinder for LPG, packaged drinking water. All these have got something in common. May I know what is it? It is the ISI mark compulsory. These products have to have compulsory ISI certification mark so that the safety and quality of the product is ensured to the end user. Thank you. Now I would request the audience to come up with their questions. I will be very happy to answer. Thank you.
Fine, sir. Thank you, sir. Audience, please, any queries, any clarifications, please? I hope I'm audible. Dear participants, anybody would like to have an interaction in this connection or any queries? Any sort of discussions if you would like to have with the speaker in connection to the standardization industry, please you can interact with today's speaker. Dear participants, I hope I am audible. I hope Srinivasa Murthy sir,
There is no questions, is it? Yes, can I put a question? How many standards, Indian standards are followed in your mechanical engineering subjects? Can somebody specify some of them? What are the Indian standards you follow, you have heard of, you have used in your curriculum? Anybody? That is the thing. I mean, I am afraid it is not used, or there are not many references. Except if somebody is making a project work, they may try to use some ISO, IS angles, channels, etc. in the steel, or some of them are some drills and other things they may be procuring as per Indian standards. But they may or may not, I am not sure. But once you enter into any company, you will have to procure, you will be invariably procuring products or standard parts like fasteners, bearings, etc. as per Indian standards, and almost all the cutting tools like drills, taps, milling cutters, boring tools, etc. Then single point turning tools, then carbide tips, etc. all as per Indian standards. There won't be any item without Indian standards reference more often, because these are readily available as per Indian standard in the market. Even though some of them may not be, but majority of the tools, gauges, etc. are available as per Indian standards, and naturally procurement as per Indian standard will help in reducing the inspection cost in the company and uniform quality also. That is what I thought, and I thought some of these standards you may already be aware with respect to IS, I thought. Thank you. If you don't have any question, I will be thankful to you for your patient here listening. Thank you.
That's it. Sir, I am audible, sir? Srinivasa Murthy, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. Now dear participants, anything to discuss with today's speaker in connection to the standardization? Now I request Yashwant sir to render the vote of thanks on this occasion. Over to you, sir. Yashwant sir, over to you.
Thank you very much, sir. So first and foremost, I extend my sincere gratitude to Mr. N. Srinivasa Murthy, retired Senior Manager, Bosch, Bangalore, for sharing and giving insights to various industrial standards through this session. On behalf of ATME College of Engineering and Organizing Committee, I thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. It's my pleasure.
I also extend my sincere gratitude to Dr. Basavaraj L., Principal, ATME College of Engineering, for his continuous support. Thank you, sir. I also thank Dr. Ratnakar G., Dean, Student Affairs, and President, Institutions Innovation Council, ATME CE, for giving his complete support in organizing this event and making it a successful one. Thank you, sir. I extend my gratitude to Dr. Govindegoda MS, Dean Academics, and Dr. Bhagyeshri SR, Dean Research and Development, for their extended support. Most importantly, I would like to thank all the members of the organizing committee and the participants who have contributed in successful execution of today's event. Thank you, one and all.
Okay. Thank you, Yashwant. Thank you once again to all. I thank Srinivasa Murthy sir on behalf of myself and on behalf of the ATME CE. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Devraj.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Ananda. Okay. Sir.